Okay. Let's start with a game. We have here numbers, and these numbers are related to me on my personal life. And you are supposed to guess what this number refer to.
ده بيسألك انت بيقول لك
Please mute yourself. Please be sure you are on the mute mode, please. Let's start with 3. What do you think? What do you think 3 related to? What does 3 refer to? This is related to me. You can use the chat box to write. Your children? No.
We have here different
I'm
answers.
single. I'm single. I'm not married, so I don't have children. What do you think? Guess?
We have here birthday.
No.
2019. That means she is only 3 years.
The date of is the date of joining Grillo?
Please.
The date of joining Grillo?
No. Let's focus on the first number, number 3.
3 sisters.
You are about, and yes, these are my
3 children.
My brothers. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. No, I don't have children as I'm not married. Okay, the second number, number 6. What do you think? Number 6.
Here we have birthday months.
Month? No.
Years for your professional career as an educator?
No. Experience? No. I'm more than 13 years experience. Graduation? No.
Uncles
Number
and
of friends?
aunts.
I have hundreds of friends. Please? No. Okay.
The month where
number
you
6.
when you born?
No.
Born in June.
No. Okay. 6 is my favorite grade to teach. I really admire teaching grade 6. They are my lovely students. Okay, the last number, 2019. Real mentor certificate, no.
Teacher educator and NTTP.
Yes, perfect.
Yes, I'm the winner.
Yes, you are the winner. Yes, this is the first time to join NTTP, and this is my first time to discover myself and discover my abilities to be able to stand in front of teachers and train them. I really honored to be one of the NTTP team. Okay. Are you enjoyed this game?
I want a prize.
Yes, I will. I will give you a prize. Big prize. Big hand for Mr. Ibrahim. Okay. Let's start. So what do you expect for today's session? Today we are going to talk about classroom language, but it's a wide topic, so we need to narrow and focus. What do you think? What are the main ideas that we will discuss today? Please write on the chat box. We are waiting for your answers. Please write on the chat box your expectation for our session today.
Words and phrases to use in the classroom. That is Mr. Ibrahim. Mrs. Nirmeen, how to use English instructions. Instructions. The language to be used in the classroom.
Good.
How to begin and finish our session.
Excellent.
Simple language to help students. It seems that we have very experienced teachers here.
Yes. They are with us. طب خلاص ننهي بقى السيشن.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great.
Today,
that's great.
You are perfect. All of you are perfect. Okay. So by the end of this session, you will have defined how lessons are started and finished, identified elements and phrases that can be used to start a lesson, and developed ways to promote social language when starting and finishing a class. So we have here some teachers, and all of them have different approaches to start a lesson. So we will let's listen to each one of them and then match their approaches to start the lesson. We have here some approaches, but
There's always so much to get through, so I just like to go into the classroom.
what
and
about the
stop.
sound? Is it clear? The audio.
Yes.
Okay.
I like to start with a bit of a chat.
There are
Always start
so
with the
many
So
register.
let's start with the first one. We listen and match. Use the chat box. Please listen carefully and use the chat box to write which approach referred to related to the first teacher. We have here collect homework, grade the learners, discuss topics, take the register, and start the plan. Let's start.
There's always so much to get through, so I just like to go into the classroom and start the lesson straight away. Plus, it's better to keep the children busy. I usually fill the register in
Okay.
later.
Which approach?
We have here Mr. Muhammad, register. Start the plan. Mrs. Hagar Hafiz, Mrs. Noura, start plan. Take register.
Take the register.
And you need to listen again. I think we need to listen again. So let's listen again. Please be more focused.
There's always so much to get through, so I just like to go into the classroom and start the lesson straight away. Plus, it's better to keep the children busy. I usually fill the register
What do you
in
think?
later.
Which
We have-
approach?
Okay, start the plan. Start the plan,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, yes, perfect. Start the plan. She starts the plan directly and she takes the register later. So the second one.
I like to start with a bit of a chat. The topic depends on the class level and also what's going on. For example, we might talk about an important football game or a popular TV program.
Which approach?
Discuss a topic. Discuss a topic.
Yes,
That's okay.
perfect. Yes, discuss the topic. Number 3.
I always start with the register. I think it's good to have a routine, and the children expect this. If something interesting has come up recently, I can bring it up at this point. Recently, Maya was absent because she had to go to the maternity hospital with her mother. So I asked her, "How's your baby brother?"
Which approach?
Take the register.
Take
Take
the register.
Yes, perfect.
Take the register.
Take the register.
Yes.
Okay.
Register.
The fourth one.
With younger classes, we often sing a hello song to start the lesson. With the older ones, I just say good morning or afternoon and the whole class replies. Sometimes I ask a few of the children how they are to make sure they're listening and ready for English.
Okay, let's check the chat.
Great.
Greet the learners.
Greet the learners.
Greet the learners.
Greet the
Yes,
learners.
perfect. Yes, greet the learners. Okay, the
Greet
last
the
one.
There are so many tests these days that I nearly always have to set homework. So I usually start the next lesson by asking them to get their papers out and pass them to the front row.
The last one.
Collecting homework.
Yes, collect homework.
Collecting homework.
Okay. So how many ways or how many approaches do we have to start the lesson?
Five.
We have- Yes, we have here five common ways.
Yes.
Okay, so Which approach do you prefer to use in class and why? If you want to speak, please raise your hand.
We have,
okay.
Mr. Sabri, please nominate.
Yes, just to make it easier for all of us and all of us have the same chance. I am writing the names. The first one was Mrs. Mona El Sharif. And of course, to help us listen to each other, just raise your hand and I'll pick the names in order so we can all speak and we can all listen to each other. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. For me, I prefer starting my lesson by warming up, giving them a game to revise the pre-taught voc or the pre-taught grammar.
Okay.
Thank you.
But sure you grade the learners.
Yes,
first.
Of course.
You start your lesson
of
by
course.
Yes,
yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
We have Mrs. Mona Kamel.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I like to discuss my student.
Yes.
As a topic. For example, if I have subject about or a lesson about transportation, for example, I would like to ask them about what kind of do you like bus or train? What kind of means of transport do you like? And I ask them personal questions in order to get them break the ice and to talk about the topic easily and know a lot of information and guess their information about this topic. So I like to discuss the topic from different point of view. And thank you very much.
Perfect. Thanks.
We have different comments in the chat box. We are going to say it in just a few seconds so we can take Mr. Sharif Shahata. If you can
yes,
hear me.
I'd like to start with greet the learners because it's a good way to break the ice and make good rappers with the students.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Marwa Saif.
Yes, Master. All right. As far as I'm concerned, I believe that greeting learners is the first step I have to do inside the classroom. Of course, we are Muslims, and this is the first thing I can do. This is according to the religions of Islam. Of course, this gets my learners to understand that I'm not there to get them frightened of anything. Okay, we are one family, we are one team, so they feel secure. And this is the first actually logical step to start with. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
You need more comments, Mrs. Suhair, or that's enough?
You can read some comments. You can read some comments and then move on.
Okay. Now let's see the comments in the chat box. Just to go on in this the next part. There is a question first. About what do you mean by start with the plan?
To start the topic directly. To start, if I will teach you vocab, I will directly starting by teaching vocab without any warming up or anything. Yes, hello, let's start. Okay.
We have different comments here. Greeting Mrs. Ferial, greeting learners motivates the students to share. Mrs. Sarah, discuss the topic because it makes a refreshing for my learners. Brainstorming, also friendly to my students. Discussing topic, greetings. Would you explain, Mrs. Suhair? There is a question from Mrs. Aya. Would you explain take the register approach?
Take the register to ask students about who is here and who is absent. This is take the register.
There is also Mrs. Dua greets the learners as a warm-up. Mr. Tariq, I'd like to start to share, but I don't have a cam. Okay, you don't need to have a cam, Mr. Tariq. You can mute yourself. You can unmute yourself and speak, or raise your hand, or write a comment in the chat box. Okay, there are. All of us agree on the 5 strategies, Mrs. Suhair, so you can move on to the next part.
Okay, thank you. We have here some activities, and let's talk about the language you use when you start or finish a class. We have here some activities, and you need to define which language do you use. Do you use English, own language, which is Arabic, both English and Arabic, or I don't do this activity at all. Let's start with the first one. Greeting the learners. Which language do you use to greet your learners? Do you use English, own language, which is Arabic, English and Arabic, and you don't do this activity at all? You can use the chat box.
Of course, English.
Perfect. Check the
Yes,
chats. Yes.
All of them English. A few both. It depends, Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Ibrahim says it depends.
It depends on what?
If an international school, English.
No.
Public school, Arabic.
Why?
No, even in
public,
we use English.
Good morning, good evening, hello, hi.
Yes.
It doesn't need to discrimination here. It doesn't need to be in Arabic.
I use Arabic to say Assalamu alaikum, then I greet them in English. That is Mrs. Safa Atiyah.
Okay. Okay. The next activity, taking the register. How can you take the register? Which language do you use? English, own language, both. Don't do this activity.
We have here English, both. English always. If you said Arabic.
Arabic, okay.
Both.
If it's an English class, why do you use Arabic to take the register? It's an easy task to train your students on these simple instructions and try to help them to speak and acquire the language. Taking the registers is an easy task for students. I ask my little students in grade 1 to take the register in English, and they will responsive. So it's not a difficult job. It's an easy task, but try to help your students to acquire the language and encourage them to speak English. You can say, now we are going to take the register. When you listen to your name, just say yes. It's an easy task, I think. Do you agree or not? Yes, write on the chat box why if you agree with me, and if you don't agree.
Agree, sure, yes. Of course, all of them agree with you.
Yes, doesn't need to take the register in Arabic. Please try to help your students to acquire the language by these simple instructions. These are an easy tasks, but it needs much training, just training. Okay. Collecting the homework. Which language do you use?
Also English.
English. Lots of English, of course, both.
Okay.
Majority is in English.
Okay, that's perfect. Discussing a topic such as the weekend. Which language do you use when discussing a topic?
Of course, English, because we are English teachers.
Oh, but it's not the case with all teachers.
We use English for teaching students how to use English in daily situations and daily life.
That's perfect. Okay. Asking what they liked about the lesson.
Okay, sorry. I feel that practice makes perfect, so we have to use English all the time.
Yes, I agree with you. I
Thank
totally
you.
agree with you. Thanks. Asking what they liked about the lesson. English or Arabic?
English.
Or both? Or you don't do this
No.
activity. You can choose. I don't do this activity if you don't do it.
We can
English
use
to encourage them talking in English.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
Yes, and it's also something like brainstorming for students. So I think we have to use English in this situation.
Brainstorming when asking them about what they liked about the lesson. This is not a brainstorming, it's a feedback.
It's wrap up. It's wrap up,
Yes,
I
true.
think.
Yes. Okay. Doing a game at the end. Which language?
English. Yes.
Setting homework, giving them instructions and explaining how to do your homework.
Also in English.
English too.
Yes. English, okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Telling learners to put their books away.
Of course, English.
English.
Of course, English.
Okay,
English.
that's perfect. So we need to use English to do all these activities inside your classroom. Please be sure you are on the right mood. Please check your mics. Unmute yourself if you want to speak only. Okay. So you need to use English to do all these activities to encourage students to be more familiar with the language, to be more engaged, and encourage them to speak and help them to acquire the new language. And this will take only few sessions to train, just to train them. It doesn't need much effort, just to train them. Any questions in this part?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
No, thank you.
No.
Okay.
Thanks.
Because we need to help students to live in an English environment, so we need to encourage them to speak. So we need to use all the instructions during the lesson, during the session in English. So how can you grade the class? What can you say? Write on the chat box.
I say peace be upon you.
Perfect.
Mrs. Samia, good morning. Mrs. Intisar, good morning. Lots of good morning here, and one hello. How are you doing, lovely students?
What about good afternoon? No good afternoon?
Yes, there is one good afternoon, Mrs. Manar. Yes.
That's perfect.
Hello, guys. How are you? Good morning.
Okay.
Yes, the session is recorded, and inshallah, we're working on the links. As soon as we upload it, we will share the links to all the sessions of the event. So don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Okay.
Rise and shine. Lots of good things here.
Yes. Thanks. Perfect. How can you ask a learner why they are late? How can you ask learners why they are late? We need simple phrases to be easy for students and for teachers.
You're late, why?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
Why
Good
are
morning,
you late?
everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, hello. How are you all today? Are you all well? These are samples of simple phrases to be used. We will stop for 1 minute for Azan. Who is playing on my screen? Okay, let's move on. So you can starting by greeting the class by saying good morning everyone, how are you all today? Are you all well? Hi, hello, good evening. And for the latecomers, you can why are you late? And I find some funny phrases on the chat box. Mr. Sabri, can you read some comments?
Yes. What happened? Why are you late? What's wrong with you? What are you waiting for? Is that a question for us or for the students? What is the matter? Are you okay? Why are you late? Tell me your reasons. You had better be in time. Oh my dear, why are you late? I see you're late today. I hope you are well. Very good, Mrs. Safa. Are you okay, my lovely students? I think Mrs. Malak, your students will love you speaking in that language, of course.
Sure. Malak, please be sure you are on the mute mode, please.
Mr. Ibrahim, better late than never. Okay, Mr. Ibrahim.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Please be sure you are on the mute mode. عشان في عربيات كده Mr. Sabri, unmute yourself. Okay.
Yes.
Talk to the class about the weather. How can you speak? How can you talk to the class about the weather? What about someone's clothes? Use the chat box to write simple sentence to help each other.
It's called today, isn't it? That is Mrs. Intisar.
Perfect.
Mrs. Manel, what is the weather like today? Mrs. Samia, how is the weather today? Mrs. Nancy, what is the weather today?
Good,
Mr.
perfect.
Tori, why are you wearing so light or heavy clothes? How is the weather today? That is Mrs. Amira. And what a day, that is iPhone, no name here. Sarah Muhammad, Mrs. Sarah, it is clear today. Can you see? I feel cold. How about you? This is Mrs. Safa, Mrs. Manel. It's hot and sunny. What a good blouse. This is Miss Munura. And Mrs. Al-Malak, what is the weather today? Lots of answers. Great, great, great.
Perfect. You did a great job. Okay, so you can say it's very hot. It's very hot today. It's cold today, isn't it? Do you feel hot? Do you feel cold? How can we make that better? Can open the door, open the window, please close the door, switch on the fan, and so on. How can you take the register? How can what do you say to take the register? I want to hear from you. Write on the chat box.
Mrs. Intisar, who is absent. Mrs. Samia, I call out the names. Mr. Muhammad Amin, how many absentees? Mrs. Safa calling their names. Lots of calling their names. Mr. Tara, how many absentees today? Mrs. Heba, who is absent? Lots of who's absent today. What a nice day. That is concerning the weather, of course. If you hear your name, raise your hands. This is Mrs. Mana. Who's absent? Nominating names. The one is here, says yes. Who's absent today? Lots of who is absent. Great job. I'll take the register now. That is Miss Amira. Give me the sheet and mark using students' names who's absent. Each one say his or her name. Yes, very encouraging responses here.
Yes, perfect. Okay, for me. And now I'm going to take the register just to be focused. Now you are going to take the register. What are you going to say when I say your name? You need to say yes. When you listen, when you hear your name, please say yes. So you start to base their attention by saying, now I'm going to take the register. And then what are you going to say? Give them instruction. What are you going to say when I say your name? Especially with young learners or lower grades, because they are not who are not familiar with the language, to try to give them instructions and help them to acquire the language. What are you going to say when I say your name? You have to say yes. Okay. Ask the class to remember the last lesson. Oh, do you remember what we took last time? Do you remember what we took last time? This is for reminding them of what we have done before, and as a kind of wrapping up or reviewing. How can you deal with an interruption in English using simple language and simple instructions? This is for this is to help students to acquire the language and speak and using English all the time during the lesson. So how you deal with an interruption? Miss, please, I lost my pen. I lost my book. I can't find my pen. I can't find my book. So what can you say? Or what can you do? Any participant? Listen to me, please.
Listen to me, Mrs. Mona.
Okay. Stay quiet.
Stay quiet. Hold on. Prepare extra materials to give them. Don't worry, I'll help you find it. Okay, stay calm, be attention. Who have an extra pencil to your friend? I'll give you mine. Ask that to the class, be quiet. Okay, I'll help you and find after the session. Take care of your things, no problem, pay your attention. Let's look for it. Great.
Okay. Different responses.
Yes, Mrs. Nahid, I feel sorry for you, but let's now complete our activity.
Oh.
Yes, stop talking and listen carefully concerning the previous question. Stay calm and I help you looking for it. Who owns 2 pens? Yes, great answers.
Thanks a lot. If anyone has lost their pen, ask A some questions to help them remember where they left their pen, because they want to concentrate. They want to be with you. Please be sure you are on the mute mode. Be sure you are on the mute mode, please.
Sorry.
Okay. So you need to help them to find their pens or their books. So you can ask them questions related to remembering them where they left their pen. We have here different situations. What would you say in this situation? We have hot classroom, lost object, pencil fiddler, latecomers, and absentee. What's pencil fiddler? Do you know pencil fiddler? Write on the chat box or raise your hand if you want to share.
We already have Mrs. Amal and Mrs. Hiba. You are raising your hand. You want to talk, or it is a full slate from past question?
Is there anyone that knows pencil fiddlers?
No.
Okay, pencil fiddlers who are students who are always plays with their pencil during the lesson. When the teacher are explaining the lesson, they are busy with the pencils. So these are pencil fiddlers.
Yes, Mrs. Summer said play with pencil. Great.
Yes. They are always playing with the pencil during the lesson, during the explanation. So they are busy. Okay. What would you say in these different situations? For hot classrooms, what would you say? Turn on the fan. Okay, Mr. Sabri. Sorry.
Yeah, Mrs. Intisar, turn on the fan. Mrs. Amira, open the window. Open the window, please. Most of open the window or turn on the AC. Put your cursor down. Open the window. All the students will open the windows, of course.
Oh, it's too hot here.
Yes.
Okay. What would
on
you
the
say
fan.
in lost objects? Lost objects. For lost objects, what can you say? What would you say?
We can make a game.
Lost
We can
object.
fetch it.
We can fetch it.
Let's look for it. Don't worry, we can find it together. Let's search. Let's try to find it. Please open the window and sit away. That's for the window who can find it, who saw it.
Okay. What about pencil fiddler? Pencil fiddler? What do you think?
Pay attention. Pay attention. Try to help your classmate put it down. Stand up, stop it, concentrate. Take it, stop it. Please come and help me here. Take the pencil. Put your pencil down. I'll take the pencil from you. I'll throw the pencil out of the window. I used to say this, by the way. Yes. Break it. Pay attention. Great. Put it down and pay attention. Yes. Okay. Stop that.
Latecomers. What would you say to latecomers?
Why are you late, Mrs. Amira? Give me a rubber ball instead. You are late. Why? Don't be late again. Too late. Welcome, sir. Are you okay? You're late. Okay, please come on time. Why are you late? I'll punish you if you're late again. Yes, that's my voice saying this word. Come on time. Try to be earlier. Punish them. Yes, you can't have got up earlier. Come on, don't be late again. Lots of interesting answers here. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Absentee. What would you say to absentee? Absentee.
Show up on time. Mrs. Marwa safe. Ask him not to come late. Okay, welcome back. Try to come back earlier. Ask them about respect our time. I hope you are okay, Mrs. Manar Gouda.
Okay, we need to move on, absentee. And are you okay?
Miss you. Why are you absent? I miss you. Too early. Are you okay? Welcome back. Hope you're fine. Why were you absent? Where have you been? Hope you're well. That's very tender voice here. I'd like to see you with me. Well, give me more tasks. You here? That's great. I miss you. Why were you absent? I miss you, Mrs. Safa Omar. Okay.
That's great. Thanks for your participation. We have here some responses and some situations, and we need to match each response with the correct situation, with the right situation. What should we do with our pens? We have here, these are the situations: with classroom, lost objects, latecomers, absentee, pencil fiddler. And we have here some responses. Let's start with the first one. What should we do with our pencils when the teacher is talking?
Pencil fiddlers.
Pencil
fiddler.
Pencil fiddlers.
What should we do with our pencils when the teacher is talking? Yes, can say this for to pencil fiddler. So why aren't you on time today? Why aren't you on time?
Latecomers.
Great.
Yes, that's perfect for latecomers. You feel hot? How can we make it better?
Hot classroom.
Hot classroom. Hot classroom. Ask Alan some questions to help him remember where he left his book.
Lost object.
Lost object.
Okay, perfect. And there's another one here.
Absentee. The last one is absent.
Absentee.
Absentee.
Does anyone know where she is today? Yes, this is for absentee.
For absent.
Okay. That's great. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Is it important to find a way to start a lesson?
Yes,
why
of course.
Or in the chat box, right? Why if you agree and no if you don't agree. Yes, it's important to find a way, find a technique to start your lesson.
Of course.
Yeah, please mute
just
yourself.
Write why. Just write why or n to save time. If it's important, write why instead of yes. If it's not important, write n instead of no. Yes. No. Okay. Top. Is it important to find a way to finish your lesson? It's important to find a way to finish your lesson.
Lots of yeses here.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Why? Why is it important to find a way to close or finish your lesson?
Wrapping up what students had to check their understanding. Wrapping. Make sure they understand the lesson. Yes, to understand the lesson, to get feedback, to sum it up, check understanding. Recap our lesson, make sure of understanding. In order to train them to use what they are talking about, to be certain that the students understand the lesson. Focus on important points. Great. Reflect. That's a very good point. Fast finishers, organizing their ideas, especially for distracted students, to be sure of understanding, achieving goals. Lots of interesting answers here.
Perfect. You are all great. And it can finishing a lesson or closing a lesson can be a good opportunity to consolidate learning or even just to make the learners leave feeling positive about what they have just studied. Okay, how do you finish your lesson? Do you have a routine? Would you like to try different approaches? Do you have a routine to finish your lesson, or it differ from one to one?
There is an exercise from Mrs. Samia. A game, exit ticket, feedback, make an activity. Yes, differs concepts, sometimes games, asking questions about the lesson, finished by held a class competition, games, feedback, lots of games here, some questions, exercises. It depends on the time. Yes, of course, discussing, ask questions, have a quiz, great activities, recap using an activity, closing activities. I think all of us agree on activities and games here.
Yes, perfect. Here are some common ways the teacher used to finish their lessons. We have here presenting what have been learned. This is what we call recap, or wrapping up. Reviewing the lesson. We have doing a fun activity, using a closing, and giving out homework, getting feedback, ask students about what they like and what they don't like in the lesson today. It's important to ask students to give you feedback as a teacher to improve your teaching process. And also giving feedback, gives them feedback. And finally, you may tidying up, ask them to return back their supplies in the right place. Okay. We have here some responses and we need to match. Let's play a little game before we finish the lesson. Let's play a little game before we finish the lesson.
Fun activity.
Getting feedback.
Fun activity.
Fun activity.
Yes, perfect. Fun activity, excellent. For homework, I'd like to turn to page 56.
Setting homework. Setting homework.
Yes, setting homework. What did you like about today's session? Today's lesson?
Giving feedback.
Giving feedback. Giving feedback.
Getting feedback.
Getting feedback.
Yes.
Getting feedback.
Yes. Okay. Can you put your books and pens away, please?
Tidying up.
I will see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.
Using a closing.
Using
a
closing.
Using a closing.
I think you all tried very hard today.
Giving feedback.
Giving feedback. Yes, we will practice this again on Monday. Yes.
Linking
Presenting
lessons.
Okay, now we will watch a video. And during watching, please try to answer these questions. What's the name of the activity? Why did the teacher choose this activity? What instructions did the teacher need to give? And finally, what was the message? Try to remember these questions to be answered during watching. What is the name of the activity? Why did the teacher choose this activity? What instruction did the teacher need to give? What was the message? Don't forget to fill in the form at the end of the session. This is an announcement. Don't forget to fill in the form at the end of the session to get certificate.
There is a question here, Mrs. Suhair. What is the difference between giving feedback and getting feedback?
Giving feedback, to give students feedback about their learning. Or getting feedback, to ask them to give you as a teacher feedback. What do you like best in today's lesson? What you don't like? Is it easy? Is it difficult? And something like that. So get feedback to ask students to give you feedback, you as a teacher feedback about your teaching or about the lesson or about everything happens during the lesson. But giving feedback, you as a teacher give them feedback about their learning. Is it clear? It's clear now?
Crystal. The form, inshallah, will be sent in the chat box at the end of the session. Don't worry about that. Okay, let's move on, Mrs. Sawyer.
So now we will watch a video, and as I have said, try to answer these questions during watching. Okay, let's start. I want to check بس the sound.
As our final activity, we'll do some.
Yes.
As our final activity.
Okay,
Yes.
let's start. Okay, let's watch.
We'll do something that you really like doing, okay? It is what? Chinese. Whispers. Okay, great. We'll start from, from David. And we'll finish here with Herwe. I'm curious now what Adna heard. What did I say? What did I say? Is that right, David? No, what did I say? The lesson is over. Okay, great. You're free to go. Well done, everybody.
Okay. What is the name of the activity?
The whisper game?
Whisper games.
Chinese whisper.
Chinese whisper.
Chinese whisper. Perfect.
Fun game. Fun game.
Why did the teacher choose this activity?
For fun.
For fun.
End the lesson.
Ending the lesson.
To check listening and speaking.
I'm sorry, to check listening, both listening and speaking.
Sorry, I'd like to ask about the name of the game again, please.
Chinese whisper.
Chinese whisper?
Yes.
Chinese, right?
Whisper.
Okay. Chinese whisper, right?
Yes, perfect.
Thank you.
Welcome. She chose this activity because they like it. And to choose an activity that the students like it to end their lesson, to her lesson. What instructions did the teacher need to give?
The end of the lesson.
What instructions? Before starting the game or the activity, what did she do?
Whisper.
Ask the student to be quiet.
To keep quiet.
During
She modeled Mrs. Nermeen, clear instructions.
What are the instructions? She gives them instructions. What are
Who will
they?
start and finish?
Yes, perfect.
Listen carefully.
Where the chain starts and finished. Who will start and who will finish. And this is what happened at the beginning of the video. Okay, what was the message?
To end the lesson.
The end of the lesson.
What was the message? What was the sentence?
The lesson is over. The lesson is over.
The lesson is over.
The lesson
is over. Yes, perfect. So we will watch the video again to check these answers.
As a final activity, we'll do something that you really
like doing. So she chose the activity according to their students. According to her students, she likes the activity, so she chose this activity to end her lesson with it.
There is a question from Mr. Sharif Shahata about how can we get videos like this or this video.
This is from the British Council website. You can find it more and more videos and more activities. You can find a lot of videos on YouTube.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Whispers. Okay, great. We'll start from David. As a final activity, we'll do something that you're doing, okay? It is what? Whispers. Okay, great. We'll start from David. And we'll finish
These are the
here.
instructions. We'll start from who will start and who will finish. So these are the instructions.
I'm curious now what Adna heard. What did I say? What did I say? Is that right, David? No, what did I say? The lesson is over. Okay, great. You're free to go.
The lesson is over and the session is over too. Any questions?
Thank you very much for your time and for your friendly way. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Fruitful session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I beg your pardon, miss. I beg your pardon, miss. We just need the links of the WhatsApp group and the Facebook page, please.
Okay.
Don't leave. I am going to send you the form to register attendance to send you the certificates later. So don't leave, please. Just a second.
I will send you now my WhatsApp group and the link for the Facebook group.
Thank you, miss. I'd like to ask you, is there any problem with people who haven't attended the first two sessions? This is my first session, actually.
No, there is no problem at all. Each session has its own certificate, so don't worry about that.
Yes.
Okay, mister, thank you.
I didn't get the certificates of yesterday's session. We are working with them. Don't worry. I will send you these certificates on the email that you have written in the form yesterday. So don't worry about this, because yesterday we reached about 100 attendees, so lots of certificates. And today we exceeded. Yes, we exceeded that number. Yes. We reached, I think, 154 at the beginning.
55.
55. You are, yes. Okay. Thank you all. I'll resend the link again because it was lost in the comments. Waiting for your responses, so please don't forget to fill in this form.
If you don't fill in the form, you don't get a certificate. But be sure you're filling the form. Please be sure you are on the mute mode, please. Please mute yourself.
مفيش بقى هم كانوا 550 يدوني 250.
Okay. Okay, you can write your feedback on the chat box just to write your reflection on the chat box. What do you think about the session? Is it good or bad, beneficial or not? We need to hear from you. Most welcome. Please be sure you filled the form to be able to get the certificate. Most welcome. Welcome.
Be sure to fill in the form today or in just 10 minutes, because at 9:20 it will be closed. So this is a personal link, so it is not for sharing. Just fill it in and it's over.
Great effort. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Why? Why can't you fill it? Thanks for you all. Ms. Ghada, I can't fill in it. Why? The form is important to get the certificate. If you don't fill the form, you don't get the certificate.
No, the certificates won't appear immediately. As soon as we get your responses, we will work on your certificates. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry, the number is very, very big.
When is the next session, Mrs. Suhair?
Next session?
I think
tomorrow.
Yes, the next session is tomorrow, I think.
I will check now. And
how can we get the link of the session?
We are going to share the links to Facebook group and WhatsApp group. Just a second. I haven't sent the certificates of yesterday's session yet because we were preparing for this session.
Okay.
Just a second.
How can we receive the certificate of yesterday and today?
Certificates
via mail.
Will be sent via mail, written in the form. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Is there a record for this session?
Inshallah, will be there will be a record for the whole events at the end of the event, inshallah, because we have to upload it first. Don't worry. We are going to share links for all the sessions later